Hi and welcome back. This is going to be a three-part series on menstrual products that you can use during your moon time to replace your tampon. So make sure that you follow all the way through the third video. That way you can see the comparison of the fluid that's held from one product to the next. So these videos I am making are to be a visual aid to complement my blog, 9 Ways to an Easier Period, that you can find at Mother Earth Lunar Baby at charlestonbirthdoula.com. So to start with, let's have a small anatomy lesson about your reproductive system. So what you may not realize is that your vagina, where you're inserting your tampon, functions more like a sock in theory, where, I'm going to use this little baggie here, where the muscles touch each other. They're flat, kind of like this little pouch. And then when you insert something into your vagina, the muscles move apart, whatever space they need to do for that object. So one other visual that I often use, I teach a comprehensive sex ed class to middle schoolers as well, is a toilet paper roll. And I use a toilet paper roll a lot because when the penis is erect, they can look different sizes when they're not, but the average size penis, when it's erect, no matter what size it looks like when it's soft, will fit just inside of this tube. So it won't just fit in and have all kinds of space. It'll fit in and it'll have a tiny amount of wiggle room inside of the toilet paper roll. So a good example of what can happen for young girls who are not sexually active yet and are wondering how anything is going to fit anywhere is, yes, you're correct. When you think about your vagina, it is like this, but it can actually get bigger and fit some. So this, in theory, would then be for sexual intercourse. So the reason why I am showing you this visual is because I'm actually going to use the toilet paper roll to help demonstrate some of my alternative products with you this morning. So this is why I went through this little bit of a demo first so that you can understand where I'm coming from. So let's start with the tampon. So with the tampon, what you're going to do is you're going to insert it. So this one works better for that. And you have your little, let me get my grippy thing out. And then you're going to push the bottom in. And then it's going to, oops, I lost my string. There we go. And then the string hangs out of the body. So this is the most common one. There is the potential that I could get some viewers who have not used the tampon yet. But most of you are probably going to know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about how to insert a tampon and how it's used. So what you can see by me using my sock model here, my little pouch, is that it will only open as wide as the tampon. So that's going to hold it, and then as it absorbs your menstrual blood, your menses, it will begin to expand inside of you until it has reached its capacity, and then you will pull, and then you will change your tampon. So you'll discard this part, and then you'll get a new one. Excuse me. So the first thing I want to talk about with you guys this morning is actually going to be the hard cup. So there's lots of different companies, there's different sizes, there's what I'm going to call the maiden cup, and then the maternal cup. So the maiden cup is made for young women, for girls who have not had a baby and or are under the age of 30. So the demo cup I have is actually the maiden cup. Some companies have them differentiated as a 1 or a 2. Other ones have been differentiated as an A or a B. So this will be the maiden cup. The motherhood cup is for women who have had a baby or are over the age of 30. So it's not really fair to call that a motherhood cup, but for me it's easier to distinguish that way. So there's many different holds. Some people have actually made up their own ways of folding and holding this to use it. I think these are fabulous. Okay, so this is made out of silicone. If you have a latex allergy, pay attention. Some of them come in latex, some are latex free. They're all medical grade silicone. You will not have any risk of toxic shock syndrome. And they hold, the maiden cup will hold 0.85 ounces. And the post 30, or so the motherhood or the matron, will hold up to a full ounce. That is the equivalent to an ultra tampon or slightly higher. So this cup is the equivalent to an ultra, which is the highest absorbency tampon you can get, which means you can use it up to 12 hours. And as long as you don't have a heavy flow, you don't even have to worry about changing it for 12 hours. You can wear it overnight, and you're not having that risk of toxic shock syndrome. So I'm going to show you a couple folds that you can do with it. So the first fold is called the taco. So you literally just take it, you switch it in half, and you make a little taco. So there you go. And then I'm going to grab my roll here. So the biggest difference that you're going to find with these when you're using them is that you actually have to insert them differently than you insert a tampon. So when you're inserting a tampon, when you're thinking about that, you are actually thinking about more of when you're inserting it up, like towards your head. And when you're inserting these other ones, you're actually thinking of inserting it back towards your tailbone and up. So the motion's a little bit different, so don't give up. It oftentimes takes a couple tries, maybe even sometimes a couple moon cycles in a row before you can really figure out how to do it quickly and easily, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth these other options. So going back to my model here, so you get it nice and small, you put it in, and then you twist as you go, and as you're twisting, it will pop open, and it will create a seal around your cervix. So this has a long stem, so I'm going to make it stick out so you can see it. So you'll see. It's kind of, turn it around this way. So it's collecting your menses rather than absorbing it. One of the things that I have noticed about this product that is so great, all of these other products, is that it eliminates the smell. I didn't realize that your menstrual smell was actually from combining with the chemicals and the fibers of disposable tampons and disposable pads, and it's not actually your menstrual flow itself that has that smell. The other thing I noticed is that you have less menstrual side effects, constipation, cramping. All of those things tend to come more from your product than it does from your actual menstrual cycle itself. So although those things can be a cause of your menstrual cycle, it's very likely that it's actually the cause from your product. So let's go to the second hold. This is the one that I find most useful for me. So I'm going to see if I can do it this way. So what I do is I take my thumb and I push it down and I scoop it back like this. So what it ends up looking like is like a little scoop. So here it is sideways. Yeah. Here's the front. Let me do that again. So here's the circle. I'm taking the top and I'm pulling it back. My fingers kind of scoot back into it, so I'm pulling it back in. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. And it makes this little scoop, so that when you're inserting it, you're actually like scooping towards your tailbone like this and up. So it would look like this. You're scooping down and up, it opens, and same thing. But depending on which brand hard cup you get, will have a different length stem. So you would just figure out what length you need where nothing is sticking out, and then you have a little bit there that you can use to grab later. to help pull it out. So when it comes time to remove your cup, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to find the base here. You're actually going to go into the cup area. You're going to squeeze a little bit to release the suction seal. So you might need to rotate a little too. That releases the seal so it comes out. So after you do that, then you have your stem and you'll pull it. So it'll actually pull straight out and everything will be captured inside your cup. So then you would just dump it into the toilet and rinse and clean out your cup and reuse it. So this product is probably my favorite out of all of them for me. So it works for me. But I also use a combination of a multiple of things depending on what day of my cycle, what things I have to do on that day, and those kinds of things. So I'm definitely not an only use one option kind of girl. I like having a variety of options at my disposal. So for our next video, I'm going to go over the soft cup. So I'm going to let you go for now, and then I'll be right back. This way we can keep YouTube happy with the length of our video. So I'll see you shortly. Thanks.